Hello, I am the Siopao Guy providing to you the meta report for May of 2023. So then, as we all know, the ban list is out. This is the last YCS event before the ban list really truly starts taking place in the format. And the decks I'm going to mention right now definitely have been the best decks in the past 4 months. But as a result of this ban list here, they're all going to be neutered. So this isn't an accurate depiction of what the best decks are going forward. But I do believe this, that every time that there's a new ban list or we're going to a new format, some decks that were good in the previous format will trickle in the first month or two. And so let's get to the list here. First, I have to go bring up here, we have Kashtira winning first place. Now, Kashtira had the most representation at YCS Philadelphia. This is the first place deck list made by Dennis Nodis, and I'll go over each card over here. But as of right now, like, there are a lot of people thinking about, is Kashtira playable in the next upcoming format because Diablosos is out. So I like to go over with here. We got Kashtira Fenrir. We have at 3. Did not get hit by the ban list, which I thought it was going to go limited or semi-limited, but instead we got Kashtira Unicorn, which went from 3 to 2 in the ban list. We have 3 Kashtira Fenrir, 3 Kashtira Unicorn. We also have 1 Rice Hearts, along with 3 Dimension Shifters. This card did not get hit in the ban list, even if people really want to get hit. And then we got 1 Scareclaw Kashtira. Then to the hand traps, we also got ourselves 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Nibiru the Primal Being, 3 Pot of Prosperity, 1 Terraforming, 3 Pressure Plan Rate Swath. We got, I can't ever say this right, Canithiosis. We have 3 Canithiosis, 3 Kashtira Birth, and we have 3 triple Tactics Talons. In a lot of people's lists, people are playing with 1 Talons and then they side deck in the 2 other Talons. But for the first place, it worked for him apparently. Kashtira is one of those decks that is very sensitive, especially to hand traps. 3 Book of Moon. We have 1 Kashtira Big Bang and triple Infinite Impermanence. Also note this deck had no Call by the Grave. It really was banking on the triple Tactics Talons, really netting you all that advantage. And then we get to the extra deck here. We got 3 Kashtira a Rice Heart. This is going down to 1. Oh boy, that is a major hit for Kashtira, which is why I do think it will end up being a tier 2 or tier 3 deck in the next upcoming months really here. We also have here 2 Shangri-La. This really needs the Ablosis in order to actually do anything. You got double Zeus, 1 Big Eye, 1 Dracosac, 1 Diablosis the Mind Hacker. This card is gone. Sniping an extra deck is going to be no more. This also does a huge negative onto Shangri-La. We also have here a Dark Arm, the Dragon of Annihilation, a Baron de Fleur, 1 Donner Dagger for a Hire, 1 Infinity Goliath, and then 1 Fossil Warrior Skull Knight. And so although this was the best deck at YCS Philadelphia, I don't think it's going to be the best deck in the next couple days here. But that goes for Kashtira. But one thing I do want to point out here is the fact that there definitely was trap representation in this format, and I predicted that there would be a lot of trap representation going forward. And for that reason, I want to bring up here. So we have here number 8. So we have the deck here that reached top 8, and that is a 50 card branded Labyrinth deck. And as you can see here, this deck is full of a lot of floodgates here and a lot of no fun cards. You have the 1 copy of Dimensional Barrier in your 50 card deck as you go first. And a lot of, how many hand traps you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hand traps. 18. And we have the 1 break over here, but let's do the deck list here. We have 1 Psy-Frame Driver, 2 Nibirus, 2 Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, 1 Lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, 2 Fallen of Albaz's. We got here Ariana the Labyrinth Servants. We got 2 of her, 3 copies of Labyrinth Chandelier. Then we go to our hand trap lineup of 2 Ash Blossoms, 2 Ghost Dugger, 3 Psy-Frame Gammas, 3 Labyrinth Stovey Torby, 3 Droll and Lockbird. Drone Lock, people are afraid of it right now, but as somebody who's used Drone Lockbird for the past 5 years in their main deck all the time, in almost all the decks I play, it wins you a game when it does. That's it. It will win you a game when it does. But for the most part, when you do see Drone Lock and you're facing against a deck that doesn't really capitalize on the drawing all that much or adding cards to the hand all that much, it kind of becomes a dead card at times. We have triple effect failure. We have 1 Labyrinth Kuklok, 3 Branded Fusion. Seriously, we got to move on from this. 3 Pot of Prosperity, 3 Skill Drain. 3 Skill Drain. Yeah. This card is not good, but when you play against it, you just don't want to see it. 3 Big Welcome Labyrinths. We got 1 Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon, 1 Dimensional Barrier, 1 Dogmatica Punishment, 3 Infinite Permanence, and 2 Welcome Labyrinth. You'll see some bestial representation here in the side deck. We got here in the extra deck, Albion Sanctifier Dragon, 1 of that, 2 of Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon, 1 Lebellion the Searing Dragon, 2 Albion the Branded Dragon, 1 Ringbrum of the Striking Dragon, 1 Sprint of the Iron Dash Dragon, 1 Garura Wings of Risen Light, 1 Elder Entity Nest, 1 Chaos Angel. This card is spiking up right now big on TCG Player. If you haven't picked one up yet, I highly recommend you do, because this thing is going hard right now. YCS, 1 Psy-Frame Lord Omega, 1 Tri-Brigade Arms Bucephalus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Nightmare Cerberus to round up your top 8 Branded Labyrinth deck. I expect Branded Labyrinth being a future thing. I'm surprised it's not happening more often. Expect Skill Drain to appear a lot more often in the coming format. Isaac Crits got a top 16 with Dinomorphia with a Miscellaneous. Let's go with it here. Goes in match, and the side deck we have Anti-Spell Fragrance, Summon Limit, Wow, oh wowzers. This is definitely a scary deck, and most of you who are watching this right now, you do not want to play against this. You really don't. It's very scary. It's very bad when it comes to Game 3 games, or when it goes to like goes to time. But you know what? This deck is still ultra scary here. We have 1 Miscellaneous. Bring this to 3. I want to see Dinos being strong again. Dinomorphia Theresia, we got 3 of those. 3 Dinomorphia Diplos, 3 Ash Blossom, only 2 Fossil Dig, but we got 3 Pop Dualities, 3 Goes in Match. Goes in Match is not a good card for the upcoming deck that is expected to be tier 1 in the TCG, and that is Vanquished Souls, which right now is like doing really well for himself in the OCG. We also have 3 Dinomorphia Intact, 1 Dinomorphia Sonic, 3 Solemn Judgment in the main deck. A lot of people have been doing Solemn Judgment in the side deck recently, because you're not always going to win the dice roll here. So if you are going second, the Solemn Judgment just doesn't do much for you, but for Dinomorphia it works. We got 2 Dinomorphia Alert, 2 Dinomorphia Brute, 1 Dinomorphia Domain, actually no, like 3 Dinomorphia Domains, 3 Dinomorphia Frenzies, 3 Ferret Flames, and 2 Trap Tricks. And then we go to the extra deck here with 3 copies of Dinomorphia Rexstrom, 3 Dinomorphia Kent Regina. Let's go with that. 3 Dinomorphia Southbergia, 1 Psychic End Punisher, 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, 1 Evil Zora Elagia, 1 Evil Shardolka, 1 Castella Skyblaster Musketeer, and this is a funny one, Gagaga Cowboy for Game, 1 copy of that, and a deck that's all about depleting its own life points. That to me is hilarious. Let's go. But we got here, so as you see here, first place Kashtira, not expected to be that strong in the upcoming format. Then we got top 8 Branded Labyrinth, and then top 16th Dinomorphia. This format here, even though the majority of it was like Super Heavy Samurai, Labyrinth, and Kashtira, I really do expect a future format where we will see a lot more stun, a lot more slow tempo based decks, and with Vanquished Souls, which is a deck that can play through a lot of the floodgates, I do think that Vanquished Souls will play a part into the identity of the format. I expect a lot of trap cards, I expect a lot of stuns, and Vanquished Souls is one of those decks that plays slow, but can play through all the stun strategies. Also, let's not forget Sky Strikers, which is like, whatever your opinion is on Sky Strikers being like it's one of those overplayed decks of all time, yeah, whatever. Sky Strikers is still a very popular deck, and it going and having Engage go to 2, and I expect Engage to go to 3 in the next banlist. Sky Strikers will be a menace in this next format, or people will experiment and try it out in the first 2 months of this format. So yes, expect a lot of stun, expect a lot of slow playing, expect a lot of back and forth action where the games will lead to time. Because while Kashtira did amazing this format, having the most representation than any other deck, I don't think Kashtira will fit in well in the next stun strategy based format. That does it for today's video. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you want it. You told me if you want to do so, but it'd be cool if you did. Until next time, see you guys later for next week's Meta Report.